When you had to make a decision, if there was something different about the person that seemed unknown to you, you didn't know necessarily how they would react in a situation, people go to their comfort zone.
You know, I do think there is still some old boy legacy network in the VC world. You know, you and I have spoken before about on a generous day, I like half of the venture capitalists that I know.
I would say I don't think it's because women get funded at a lesser rate than men. I think the problem is the funnel.
The women that I've seen do best,
yes,
are women who are absolutely willing to embrace who they are.
The chemicals that are flooding women's brains versus men's brains. And, you know, I think for men, the sort of accumulation of power and resources, it's something that comes much more naturally to them.
How can they deal with the issue of, you know, spending 100% of their time at work, dealing with, you know, families, the kids and everything?
yes.
And the issue is no longer that there are no examples. The examples are there.
Men tend to be confrontational, they tend to be bullheaded, they tend to want to fight, they tend to want to one-up each other in terms of knowledge and content.
Yep.
And women seem to be more bridge builder.
That women are more conservative a lot of times when they're putting together their business plans. And I, in my experience, have often weighed the risks a lot more.
I think that it's important for venture capital to be more embracing of heterogeneity, not just gender heterogeneity, but all heterogeneity.
In terms of preparation, I feel like the women are very well prepared, but it's their delivery which is what sets them back.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, both positive and negative. The more women entrepreneurs there are, the more successful women entrepreneurs there will be, the easier it will be for that bias to be driven out of the system.
How do you be assertive without being perceived as a bitch?
Okay.
And how do you be, you know, how can you be warm without appearing soft-hearted? Right?
And it is changing very quickly.
Right.
And I think a big part of it is women's sports.
Definitely a lot that's carried on the having two X chromosomes. That's a good thing, I think.
The most important event is you present to the entire partnership, and this is like this ritual that every Monday they have people come in and you sit there in front of a room full of 20 people and maybe 10 more people on video conference or something. And, you know, it's a very sort of intimidating...
To believe that they can select the venture capitalist as well.
I believe that men have a predisposition to want to kill things.
Interesting.
So men want to kill other people, they want to kill plants, they want to kill animals, they want to kill, they just have a predisposition to conquer.
I always like to say it's kind of like in this profession, ADD is a benefit.
For some reason, in this finance, it's related or and a bunch of really smart, ambitious people, it's become much more evident to me a bit about my gender.
Yeah.
So in an interesting way, because there aren't that many of us in venture, roughly 5%.
I'm not sure that today women startups aren't actually advantaged.
I think sometimes women can be their own worst enemy.
And it's not that my husband actually aced every single test, but he believed it. And I think that's prevalent with a lot of women.
I think it's impossible to completely ignore human sexuality issues, other types of issues.
And I would say that the female entrepreneur on average would be more open about the potential risks and deficiencies.
The way to make money in this business is not to make money by backing what everybody else is backing. The way to make money in venture capital is to think against the grain and be ahead of the curve and to invest in something that has yet to be discovered by everybody else.
It's largely a question of whether or not women believe that they can be successful.
I've been in a number of meetings where you could clearly tell that, you know, even if a question got answered, that I was the one who asked, that I was the one that was going to answer, that eye contact didn't come to me.
I think once you open the door by saying women do better at X, you're in trouble.
And your explanation for that?
Because it suggests that now there are maybe areas in which they don't do as well.
Very
talented and very successful women talk about how much they feel like they are an imposter.
I think there's going to be a balancing where some of the norms have to change in how startups are done to attract more females in.
The only differences I would make note of is the problems that women want to solve.
The lesson for women is that by pulling each other up, one woman achieves some success, she pulls up another two women.
You've got to be constantly monitoring your effort, figuring out, are you on a trajectory for success or are you on a trajectory for failure? And if you're on a trajectory for failure, decide to fail fast.
Indiegogo, 41% of successful campaigns are run by women.
Wow.
So I think that just speaks to the democratization of the internet.
As women, from the moment we are born, everything around us conspires to make us feel insecure about absolutely everything to do with us.
You absolutely need people who are going to be honest champions of what you're doing. But also, you need a great deodorant.
Possibly, to the extent that there are, that some VCs have concerns about women entrepreneurs, maybe if you've already proven it to them and said, look, I've already built this company.
I think there is something simply biological about a woman having a child that kind of affects, I guess, the time frame that we have.
Because in order to be successful, you have to be at your most, what I call fierce with your own reality.
Venture capital snob. I think there are 5 or 10 firms worth spending your time with and the rest aren't worth spending your time with.
Say, Julia, you've got to leverage the hell out of your womanhood.
I think a big part of it is that fewer women are aggressive. First of all, women are less aggressive about pitching than men.
And as you go through building your business, what you start to realize is that you have to really trust your own experience.
The VCs are complete sheep. They follow the trend.
Men are generally more willing to take risks. Now, is that actually something you want as an investor looking at an entrepreneur? I don't know.
Raise money is you have to be willing to ask for money. And you have to be willing to have someone say no.
Suddenly, when I was standing for a group of people who believed in me, the equation and the chemistry there was completely different.
We've been asked out. We have had, the flippant sort of comment here and there.
I think for a woman, sexuality, being attractive, when you're a woman, being attractive is one of the most important things that you can do as a woman, as a human.
I really don't see myself as a female or a male when I'm out there.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you will never find me out at a bar from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. Exactly. I'm back at my computer working very hard and progressing on the company, whereas my friends, my single entrepreneur friends, will be out at the bar drunk tweeting.
And I think the wonderful thing about the female, there's so many wonderful things about the female gender, but, I think we're much better at pulsing in and out